This house, it has a kitchen in it that I renovated about 3 years ago.
The owners, Sean and Melissa Costello, had an ambitious plan for the kitchen, which included removing some walls to create more open space and stripping the remaining walls back to the studs so we could reroute plumbing and electrical lines. But the big motivator for Sean and Melissa wasn't just the aesthetics, it was the way the kitchen functioned.
It didn't work at all for us. I mean, the original kitchen that we had in here was so narrow. You know, when we bought the house, we loved the house in general, but I walked into the kitchen and I said, I cannot work in here. I mean, she and I like to cook together, and that was a large part of why we finally decided, you know what, the cabinetry is old, the ovens were ancient. In fact, I don't even think most of our sheet pans fit in the original oven in here. And it was too small and cramped.
There was an island smack in the middle that in a space that was clearly not big enough for an island. It's part of the reason we put this sink in, so we don't have to cross the kitchen with hot pans of boiling water when we're draining things. And so this sink has worked well. Plus, it gives us two spaces to really move around this kitchen really easily without getting into without getting into each other's space. We've had the two of us and several friends in here cooking and serving and cutting, and when we entertain, it's sort of all centers here. We don't really go anyplace else in the house.
Well, a lot of times when you're combining new ideas with old ideas, you have to put up with certain things, and I know the window here was one of the things that because the window went down below the countertop height. But you came up with this idea, actually, Melissa, to create this little indentation here, which we'd never done before. All the hundreds of kitchens that we've remodeled. How's that worked out?
This has worked out great. I had to credit our kitchen designer who came up with a lot of the idea. There's lots of stuff can go back there.
Oh yeah, things can fall back there.
and it's one of the things that almost everybody who comes into this kitchen comments on is they say, "Oh, well, that's a neat idea. You just we drop the big thing of soap behind there, and it's still accessible, but kind of out of the way."
Exactly. Yeah. Now, your choice of a hardwood floor. We get questions from people all of the time saying, "I would love to put a hardwood floor in my kitchen. Does it really work?" Looks like it's holding up pretty well.
It is definitely a floor that requires a little bit of attention and maintenance in that regard. I mean, you have to be okay with the floor having a little bit of scratching on the top of it.
Sure.
We knew we'd have to go back and do some touching up. It's part of the reason we picked the thicker wood. We picked three-quarter inch wood on this floor because we knew with our dog and with it being in a kitchen and with all the traffic that we would have to probably go back and sand and refinish probably several times over the lifetime of the kitchen.
And with all the granite, the wood floors help sort of warm it up and soften it a little bit, because we have a lot of granite in this kitchen. And I mean, it's a very nice surface to stand on and walk on and work in, really.
Right. The multi-layer bar area, how's that worked out? Because you have the lower area that you can serve meals, and then certainly upper area. Did that work out?
I don't think we used the bar quite as much for meals as we anticipated. Now, our children are still a little bit young. I think that as they get a little bit older, that will evolve more into an area where they can sort of sit down and do things like that. Right now, probably the only drawback is it's a great flat place to drop stuff when you come in the house.
Everybody has one of those. Well, I think you guys, did so well in the ideas that you have in, within the kitchen and however everything went together. But there's never been the perfect kitchen put together. So, what's the one or two things that you do maybe just a little bit different?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, well, this is good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really, I can't think of anything that I do differently in this kitchen.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we have talked about that before over the past few years as we've worked in this kitchen, that functionally it works. It is a very, very easy kitchen to work in. It's a great kitchen. I mean, you can work here. There's still the traffic pattern with the small kids running around. They can do their thing. Honestly, I don't think I would change anything. I might put up a sheet of magnetic metal somewhere so that I can hang the kids' pictures up somewhere. But other than that, I mean, in terms of the design, the functionality, the things that we have in here, I don't know that I would change anything substantively. It functions exceptionally well.